I'll show you how to export levels, floor plans level 2, 4, and 6 of your model into 3 separate AutoCAD drawings that you'll need to import into the AutoCAD drawing that you started earlier this week. We're going to be working on the site plan. So I've clicked on this wall to show you that in this model, I've got the bathtub in there, the toilet, cabinets. So all your appliances, doors, windows, basically complete. From here, we'll go on to the next step. We're going to put some sidewalks on some sites. But this is a really good spot to now export your Revit model into AutoCAD. So let me jump to level 2, and then level 4, and then level 6. So floor plan, remember, minimize ceiling plan so you don't get confused. Floor plan level 2. So this is the basement. Good. There is a concrete block wall. We can leave the section cuts there. That's fine. Tell you what, I don't think I'll do. I will delete those things. So I could always add them later. That way they won't export off in AutoCAD. That'll make things easier. So the other thing you want to make sure is when it comes to the fineness level, make it coarse. Yeah, because what I just did by making it coarse compared to fine, all these lines, the drywall lines, they'll get exported too, and it's just too many lines. We don't need to deal with that. So we'll just do coarse. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, so I'd probably just delete these section cuts. We don't want to export those things over. And I think we're ready to go. So we're going to do this a number of times for level 2, 4, and 6. So it'll be kind of repetitive. Don't worry about it. So I'll go File, Export. At the very top is CAD formats, and here's the icon for AutoCAD. DWG is the extension, .dwg, and it is going to give us a file name that's going to do something to do with step 9. That's the name of my Revit plan, where I'm at file, and floor plan level 2. Then we'll see 2 others that's still going to say step 9, and it's going to be level 4 and level 6. So we'll say next. And I'm going to just put this thing on my desktop because it'll be easy to find. And I'll say, okay. And we can't tell unless we go, well. So jumping to floor plans level 4, I'm about to export this. But one thing that you got to double check. If you zoom way in here, look how fine this is. Now, turn that off into coarse because we don't all the clapboard and drywall get exported. We have some simple lines to go over to AutoCAD. So you don't have to see 100% of the view, but this looks pretty good here. I'll go up to File, Export, up to CAD format, over to DWG, and it's going to give me a file name that says Step 9, and I'll add on level 4, and just say Next. And then I'm going to put it to my desktop. Because it's something I've done before. And I did these things earlier, but I kind of screwed up on something. But anyway, I'll just say, okay. You want to replace it? Say, yeah, I'm going to replace it. Okay, and then let me jump up to level, so it saved it. Let me jump up to level 6. And again, the last time I exported level 6, it doesn't matter if the grids are turned on and off, but last time I exported level 6, stupid me, I had the fineness, I had turned on. I want to set it back down to coarse. Okay, so it's going to send out just some simple lines. Okay, that looks good. Now I think I'm ready to go. Go File, Export, roll up to here to CAD formats, roll over to DWG. It's going to give it a file name of Step 9, Level 6, and I'll say Next, and I'll have to replace it. It wants to go back to the desktop. Good, here's my old one, which will get replaced. I'll say, okay, replace it, yes. Okay, good. So I think I'm done with Revit. I'll minimize Revit. And now I'm in AutoCAD. So in AutoCAD, remember layout 1, layout 2, these are 8.5 by 11 sheets, just kind of came with the program in the box. And earlier this week, we did an 11 by 17 sheet. And by today, you're supposed to have all these title blocks done, the information it's in the packet. So packet D, I think, site plan around page 50 something. There should be a date scale drawn by, down here, the sheet number 1 of, this would be sheet A1 of 15 sheets. You could just dummy that stuff in. This should just be some square footage. You could put 1,000 square foot in the basement, 1,000 square foot in the main floor, 1,000 square foot in the second floor, and total is 3,000 square foot. We'll doctor those numbers a little later. This should read site plan and rep plan. Over here should be your student name. And then again, put your student number down here. And when you file save this thing, remember, save it as a student number, your last name, and this information. Also, when you email it to me in the subject line, do the same thing. That way I can find out where you are. Now, I'm in paper space, it says site. Do not insert your AutoCAD drawing here, because this is 11 by 17 sheet of paper, and your basement's 26 feet by 26 feet. It's going to be huge. Now, what you have to do is you have to be in model space. So in model space, this is where I'm going to insert 1, 2, 3 drawings. So the process to go through that is you would come up to insert. Go to insert here. Go blocks from library, because this thing came in as a block. And what you have to do is come over here and search for these files. Now, just recently, I made this level and this level and this level. Let's do the basement level. We'll say open. If you do that, it shows up here. In addition, you get your dryer and a bunch of other things. This is, just click this thing here. As you drag it over, there is our image. Now notice it kind of jumps around, jumping around. Well, you can turn off the snap. You can turn off O-snap. And I'll keep the grid on there and just plant it someplace. We'll discuss this in a moment. Let's put some other drawings here. Then you go back again to insert and go from block from libraries, come back over to here, and go find where you stored it. And so I'm looking for level 4. And this is level 4. You see the garage is here, the living room's over here, and the fireplace. I'll say open. And when you do that, well, I guess go back over to here. Oops. Sorry. I think what happens, it takes a minute for it to load in over here. Click. Drag over. Let's see. Redefine insurance. There it is. So I'm doing something wrong. I got to figure out something. What's going on over here? It's my mistake. And go back up to insert block. And go blocks from library. Go back over to here and look for this block. This is level 6. That's what we want. Say OK, open. And it might take a minute. Oops. Yeah, it might take a minute here, and that's going to be level 6. That's what we want. I'll say redefine block. So down here, this is, you can see the toilet and the bathtub. I'll just put it down here. Okay, so I'm done installing blocks. Press escape. Now I want to position these things so the corner of these things start right on a major grid line. So what I have to do is have O-snap turned on. I'll have snap turned on because I'll be able to take these corners and move them over, take the corner of the building and put right on the intersection of a grid line. And if I zoom in here, I could move the corner of this yellow line to the intersection of a major grid line. Okay, so here I go. I'll use the, we want ortho turned off because we have to move up or down. And snap, this thing's going to move around kind of like Chinese checkers. It'll bump around into 2-foot jumps. So go to home, go to the move command, and down here it says select objects. I'll select the object. It found one object. I'll press enter. I'm done selecting objects. Then it says specify, press escape. Let me try that one more time. Move this, press enter. Then it says specify base point. So here we go. We have to have O-snap turned on. Let me turn off snap. I'll click not to the footing, but the concrete wall. Okay, there, that's good. Now I want to have snap or snap turned back on because I want to move this thing right to the intersection. I'm giving myself a little more room so I can see. Yeah, I want to do it to a major grid line. So I'll do into this one here, right there. Good. Press escape. Because if I count over, this is here, this is 4 feet, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 26. This is a 26-foot wide building. We're going to have a bit of a building over here, so maybe I'll move the corner of this to maybe up to here. So let me zoom in. And again, you have to probably want to have snap turned off because you can't move around. But when you have the O snap turned on, we'll use the move command. Click on move. It says select objects. I'll click on this object. It found the whole thing. I'm done selecting objects. I'll press enter. Then it says specify base point. So I'm going to start at the corner of this wall, not the footing, which is blue, but the corner of the wall, which is yellow. And I'll take it up and over. I think about here will work, but let me turn on the snap. Because where my mouse will jump to, it will jump to right on the intersection of the gray lines or halfway in between. Because my grid is set at 4, my snap is set at 2. And I'll click there. And I like that. And now notice this corner, let's see what they do. Yeah. I'll get the corner of this building where the air conditioner is to kind of line up with the corner of this building. But I think I'll put it about here. So this corner here, my crosshair is, I'll take it up to about here because it lines up with what's above me. And maybe this is going to get too close to that. I can always pull it down. So let me go ahead and move this thing. Once again, I'll use the move command, and I want to have, I'll turn off grid, but I have ortho turned on because I'll click this thing. It found one object. I'm done selecting objects I want to move. I'll press enter. Then it says specify base point. So I'm going to zoom in and go to the corner of this 2x4 wall right here. Now I'm done with the O snap. I want to turn on snap because then I can move this thing over. Look at this here, 2 feet over, 2 feet over, 2 feet over. Because remember, my snap is set at 2 foot. But I don't want the back porch roof crashing into that front. So I'll bring it down to here. Maybe I'll come down about to here. And I'll tell you what, I'll come about to here. That would probably do it. So I click here, and so this floor plans are kind of lined up horizontally, and these floor plans are kind of lined up vertically. I'm going to jump over to my site plan to see what that looks like. Good. So this is my 11 by 17 sheet. This viewport, if I click it on, it's at 16th inch scale. I think what we could probably do for this assignment, you could probably crank it over to 8th inch scale. It'll be bigger. I press escape. Now it fell off the page. No big deal. We are in paper space. Click the word paper. Now you're in model space. So we are viewing through a viewport. This bold line is a viewport. We can manipulate things in model space. Okay, because we are reached through the viewport. But don't change things. Right click. Get this little Michael Jackson glove. Move it around. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we want it to look something like that. But it's not going to fit. Don't worry about it. Let's go exit. And let's come back out of paper space, out of model space, up in the paper space. You click this. And what will work is just click this. And let's change the scale to 16th of an inch. And then press escape and paper space. So when you zoom in and zoom out, the sheet gets bigger and smaller. Yeah, and so I can look at this and I can see with your sinks and refrigerators that you did everything correctly on your model. Now, these are all colorful. These are all blocks. We got to explode this thing a couple of times. Let's go from the site plan layout to model space. Okay, so here we are in model space. What we're going to do, we're going to explode these things twice. Because currently we have one block here, one block. It's just a solid object and another block. So to explode this, the command up here, the old version is like a stick of dynamite. Click this thing here, click, and I think if you click your mouse and let go and drag across and click, it found 3 objects. Okay, press enter. It exploded it. Doesn't look that things changed, but it did, because now look at this. If I zoom in this line, I'm now picking up an individual line. If I zoom into this window, it's the whole dang window. Okay, we'll have to explode that again. But then we zoom back out. What you need to do for sure is delete this hatch here. It's too busy. Delete this concrete hatch. Delete this concrete hatch. Okay? And for now, the rest of the stuff can stay. Oh, one more hatch. This is the hatch at the footing, which was below the slab. So there's just a number of hatches, sand hatches, you have to delete. Now save this thing. It's always a good idea to save on occasion, because if you screw up, at least you can go back and close this file, not save it, open it back up and fix where you are. Now, I want all these things to be on a new layer called gray underlay. So we haven't done this yet, but on the layer properties, come up to layer properties. And if you click this, you can see all these layers here. They didn't exist a few minutes ago. All these things came in because we got some information from Revit. And these are from columns, and these are for air conditioners, some mechanical equipment, wall. And now earlier today, I made a gray underlay layer, but I'm going to show you how to do that. You click on this icon. This is important. It's a new layer. And when you click on a new layer, this is where you're going to type in gray underlay. Okay. And let's see what I can do. So yeah, I'm just going to delete that layer. Because what I did, let me come down to here. I created this gray underlay layer right here. Where'd it go? Sorry. Gray underlay layer. And it probably was some color. Maybe it was black, maybe it was white, I don't know. But I changed it to this gray. And we say, okay. So now I have this gray underlay layer. So it's a big deal. Well, let me close this out. And this will be kind of cool, you'll see. If I were to click on the upper left and let go of my mouse and click down here, I could right click and go to properties, and on layers it says, well, all these objects, they vary. They're on all sorts of layers. Well, what I can do is I can throw them all on, see, alphabetically, gray underlay, and press close. Okay. Press escape. When you see this, you realize, well, that's semi-impressive. Why is that yellow and why is that orange? Notice this line is individual line, it's gray. So is this one. Well, what happens is this air conditioner, this range, this sink, they are still a block. So there's a block within a block. We have to explode it one more time. Let's do this again. You zoom out, got a blank command line down here. If you click and let go of your mouse and drag, capture 100% of these objects, click, and then we're going to go to the explode command. Okay, and what it did is explode. I think you could do the explode command prior, but now if you click on that line, it goes away. That line, it's not a block anymore. Something else I forgot. Dang it, what's this? I should have got rid of the hatch. Dang it. I should have got rid of the hatch. Just like I did the basement slab and the garage slab. This is not important, but I should have cleaned that stuff up. Likewise, all these things here too. I should have cleaned that stuff up. Well, so these are individual lines. Once again, with the blank command line down here, I can click here to here and right click, go to properties, come up the layer. Notice it varies again because some of those blocks that were purple, the bathtub, the sink, etc., they were still on their own layers. Let's again throw them all over to the gray underlay layer. Okay, and then when you do that, press escape, close things out. You have Now everything on the gray underlay layer, everything here has turned into individual lines. That's what we want, okay? So we're just trying to get to this point. Then, if you jump over to the site plan, make sure that you can see this, okay? And when you're ready, print it. That's PDF, and then send it to me. So I'll go save, but I'll go print, and send it to some device down the hallway for me. I'll go to Adobe PDF or Bluebeam PDF, doesn't matter, and I'll say okay. And I'll save this to the desktop. It's going to be this file name here. I'll just press save. And then it's going to create a PDF. Down here, we should see that PDF pop up. And it might be rotated sideways. Don't worry about that. Click here, and there it is. Okay. So this is what I want you to send to me, because I could look at this. Yeah, it's kind of fuzzy. It's not your fault. Yeah, send that to me so I can see that you've done a bathroom and kitchen, etc. And that your title block is complete. Okay, that's the end of it.